happy to report that today, one of the biggest mysteries in all of Fortnite history finally got solved. But first, it is officially an entirely brand new year, and I only have one New Year's resolution, which is to get you to hit the thumbs up button. So what are you waiting for? It's literally sitting right below this video. Click it and make my dreams come true. It's officially coming up on 2,000 days since Fortnite was originally released, and during that time, we've received so many massive mysteries, ranging from things like mysterious doors we never got to open, all the way to the truth about what happened to the Foundation. But first, look how close you are to 4.35 million subscribers. We couldn't be any closer. It truly would mean the world to me if you could hit that subscribe button and be my 4,350,000 subscriber. Last video, I asked you guys to name this emote, and there's a bunch of people on the screen right now who got it right. For this video, we have a new emote. If you know the name of this, make sure to leave it down below in the comments. But ladies and gentlemen, we've wasted too much time. We solved a major Fortnite mystery today. We got a lot to cover. Let's get into it. Now, before we reveal the biggest Fortnite mystery that was just solved, first things first, we finally received some more answers about what happened to the friendly dinosaur known as Klombo. As I'm sure we all remember, when Chapter 3 first released, there was a very mysterious little pile of snow that if you went up to it, you could actually see breathing. And later on in Chapter 3 Season 1, on January 18th, the snowmans melted and Klombos were released all across the island. Kind of crazy to think about because it's almost been a full year since we first saw Klombo. But I'm sure we all remember, he was very similar to a dinosaur and was incredibly friendly unless you decided to attack him, which would result in him eliminating you almost 100% of the time because he was invincible. And ultimately, as soon as Klombo was added into the game, everybody fell in love with him and he dominated Fortnite content for a couple of months. But then Chapter 3 Season 2 released, and unfortunately, the friendly dinosaur named Klombo had disappeared entirely from the Fortnite island, leaving all of us heartbroken in the process. In the first update of the new season, we saw the Klombo mounts once again return alongside a challenge that actually had us go around and investigate them. Like the first time we saw the Klombo mounts added, we all assumed that this meant Klombo returning was right around the corner. Sadly, that never ended up happening because as we got closer and closer to the Collision Live event, the Klombo mounts themselves actually began moving closer and closer to the collider at the center of the map. Then we had the Collision Live event go down, and after that took place, Season 3 released, where Klombo, unfortunately, was nowhere to be found on the Season 3 island, except for one single Klombo skull. That was in the snowy area of the map. And I still remember waking up and seeing this for the first time, man. It was absolutely heartbreaking. Thankfully, though, one character known as the Haven actually gave us some more answers as to what happened, informing us that she followed some Klombo tracks here, but they disappeared, referring to the area right by the 0 point, which is where the collider was located. Most importantly, she also said Klombos disappeared in the same strange flash of light that brought them here, saying that the Klombos themselves actually come from the last reality, which makes perfect sense since they first arrived after the end of Chapter 2 event, where the last reality invaded our island thanks to the Cube Queen, as well as the obvious fact that you're able to see a bunch of extreme similarities between the Herald as well as Klombo. But there is also a good chance Klombo could be from somewhere known as Pluxaria, which, believe it or not, has actually been described as an additional universe within the last reality that Zyg and Choppy from Chapter 2 Season 7 were actually from, as you can tell from their Pluxarian Gothic loading screen, as well as this skin, known as the Bloom, is also believed to be from Pluxaria as well. And what's interesting is if you actually look at this skin's backbling, it appears to have a version of Klombo, meaning Klombo himself isn't from the last reality, but actually Pluxaria, which was likely a previous universe that the last reality visited and fully destroyed. And before we reveal my favorite solved mystery of them all, first we need to talk about the Foundation, one of everyone's favorite characters in all of Fortnite history, who isn't just the most powerful and important member of the Seven, but he also had his very own location on the Chapter 3 island, even containing a giant beautiful statue of himself. And I'm sure we'll all remember that located underneath the statue is actually a very mysterious looking door that at first we assumed was a vault of some kind, and we all tried to enter this, but unfortunately there was no way to get inside unless if you did this glitch that we actually attempted here on the channel. We were able to successfully get underneath the map, and once we did that, we were able to get our very very first look at what was inside of this mysterious room. But unfortunately, at the time, it didn't seem like there was anything there, which is weird because it reminded me a lot of that giant redacted bunker we had on the Chapter 2 map, where at the end of Chapter 2, it actually ended up opening, revealing a secret base for the Imagined Order. So we were all expecting the exact same thing to happen with this mysterious vault door below the Foundation statue, but unfortunately, we never ended up actually seeing that happen, and the closest we ever actually got to finding out what was inside of this mysterious room is a quest where we actually need to go around the sanctuary and collect a bunch of the Foundation's launch records. It doesn't really sound that cool, but I basically just think this secret room was a secret office for the Foundation we never ever got to access and was ultimately pretty disappointing. And coming up next is the biggest Fortnite mystery ever solved, but first, by now, as we all know, the Herald from the last season of Chapter 3 literally succeeded in destroying the entire Fortnite universe, has made a return onto the Chapter 4 island, but not in the way we expected, because her body is actually fused into the reality tree. If you're like me, then you don't really understand why she made a return to the Chapter 4 island, and even more confused as to how she ended up fused to the tree. It turns out this was because during the live event, the loopers actually defeated her with the rockets in the beginning cutscene, but after that, she came in contact with the chrome, which brought her back to life, and subsequently became fused together with the reality tree, transforming her into a giant version of herself that she then used to destroy the entire Fortnite map, causing herself as well to become destroyed, which was actually teased before the live event ever happened by the Sunbird NPC, who told the Herald, in the end, what you herald will consume you, because after all, Herald itself means a sign that something is coming, so the Sunbird essentially predicted the Herald being consumed by her own chrome before the live event ever happened. The reason this is a mystery is because everything during the live event seemed to go as planned for the Herald. Her mission of destroying our entire reality being a smashing success begs the question, why is she on the Chapter 4 map? Is her plan really just to destroy the island, leaving the 0 point unharmed so we could fuse together a new one, all while sacrificing herself, her power, and her life? That just doesn't seem likely, mainly because the tree she's a part of on the Chapter 4 island has a giant hole in the back where many people actually think she managed to escape from. If that's true, that would mean that she would have had to return back to the last reality, where she is once again watching over the Fortnite loop with her little crystal ball. What I think is even more likely is the Ice King, who's been residing over at the Ice Moon ever since he tried to freeze the map back in Chapter 1 Season 7, came back down to the Fortnite map to retrieve the Herald and her remains in order to bring them to the Ice Moon, where his collection of artifacts that are too dangerous to exist belongs, in order to prevent her and all of her dangerous abilities from ever returning to any universe again. Unfortunately, I don't think there's any way to get a 100% solid answer on this. That's okay, because it's time to reveal the biggest Fortnite mystery ever, where we actually need to rewind the clock all the way back to Chapter 3 Season 2, where we received a brand new point of interest on the Fortnite island, originally known as Covert Cavern. Later on in Chapter 3, this was the point of interest that was rebranded to the Rave Cave. Originally, it essentially operated as the main headquarters for the Imagined Order on the Chapter 3 island, and I'm sure we all remember located inside a Covert Cavern were these giant mysterious vault doors we were all 100% expecting to open at some point within Chapter 3, to all of our disappointment that never ended up happening. Now, at first, we thought these giant vaults could actually be where the Klombos were relocated to, but as we know, that isn't actually true, thanks to the Haven NPC, who told us they left the map due to that strange flash of light. The next theory was these vaults actually contain tunnels that connect us to the other side of the island, and that the Imagined Order used these tunnels to actually arrive on the Chapter 3 side. But that's not true either, because as we all remember, the Imagined Order actually used the drills that were located all across the Chapter 3 island, and we even had an absolutely massive one as well that Dr. Sloan was in. But our first major clue about what this vault door was actually for actually comes from a sound effect that it makes. Now, right off the bat, it's very, very obvious that doesn't sound anything like a Klombo, and also doesn't sound anything like the 0 point, which is also another one of my theories. But instead, you remember how the Foundation and Jones entered the 0 point to go after Geno, where they then entered this mysterious, weird-looking purple and orange reality, but then, at the very end of Chapter 3, before the live event, Agent Jones actually returned to the island. Well, my theory is, since by the time Agent Jones returned, the Imagined Order was already defeated, I think there's a good chance Agent Jones actually could have use these tunnels to return from that reality back to our reality on the Chapter 3 map. But once again, unfortunately, there's no way to figure out a 100% answer to this, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see these vaults playing a massive role in an upcoming storyline. But as more and more secrets and mysteries become revealed, and it seems like more and more are happening every day, I'll tweet them all out on my Twitter account at HomeWithGamesYT. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.